Hello, welcome to my Factorio tutorial. I'm KatherineOfSky. In this video, I'd like to show you how I make my very favorite belt making array. It will make both transport belts, underground belts, and splitters that will last you into endgame because it is expandable to all the colors / speeds of belts. So the first thing I want to show you is we do have a main bus, and we are going to pull off the main bus the ingredients we need for this belt array. You can build this pretty much in the very beginning of your factory so that you will have access and you can create access later with things like the red circuits and such. So the first thing we want to do is place down our first factory, and we want to get the spacing right. So I'm just going to drag these guys up and basically take them out in order that we have 3 spaces in between. Now these factories are going to provide us with the gears we need for our belt factory. And what we're going to do is, so that we have enough iron for this array, we are going to put 2 splitters splitting off of the main lines to get this. So I've already put the splitter here. Oh, sorry, my legs are too fast for me. All right, and that one is a blue one, but that's okay. It can be made in the very beginning of the game, and I'm going to make the rest of it with yellow belts. There we go. And here we are going to use a splitter to split off there because we need a lot of gears for belt making, that's for sure. So let's get another splitter here. There we go. And then we are going to allocate these to make gears. So let's just do that. There they are. And you can copy paste with shift right click to copy and shift left click to paste. So we need to make 2 more of these here and there. So we have 6 total gear factories. Yes, we really do need that many. And this guy will go around this way. And what this is going to do is provide us with the iron plates both for the gears and for the initial yellow belt items or yellow quality items. Okay, so let's get some undergrounds going on here. That one goes there. Space them out like this. Okay, great. And those are actually okay like that. So let's make sure we have enough inserters. We need inserters pulling in, and basically these need 2 iron plates to make 1 gear. And I'm going to put these evenly so that both machines can pull off the same area and they don't sort of steal from each other. Oh, I can do it that way. Okay, great. And then we'll have the output inserters as well. So, and the gear machines in the middle, they will output to both of these belts. All right, so that should be our gear assembly made. So let's put some power in here. Just get that going. Okay, there we are. Great. Next, the actual belt array. Let's put down machines for that. First one there, and there, and there. Now, the center one needs to be the belts. The yellow belts, they go here. And usually I put splitters. This is going to be the splitters on this side because I already have the green and red circuits ready for that. So I'll shove that there, and then undergrounds will go here. And these belts can continue for a bit because we'll need them in the other constructions. Now we can also put down, like we did before, these spaced arrays of machines. So basically put it in a 3x3 grid, 9 total machines because that's all we have at present in Factorio. And if you can fill them out with the upgraded versions. So this is a yellow underground. So the next one is a red underground, and this one will be a blue underground. Basically because each of these requires the other in the recipe. So a yellow underground requires yellow belts and iron plates, and a red underground requires yellow undergrounds and gears, and the blue requires red undergrounds and gears and lubricant. All right, so this one's going to get turned, and do the same for the belts and the splitters. Now, if you don't have other technology, if you do not have the higher technology belts, that's okay. You can just plonk this whole array down, just put machines or some kind of other way to reserve the space so you don't build over it, and then you can just expand it whenever you get the tech. Okay, so let's see. We need to do, what I like to do is the undergrounds and the splitters do need belts to function. So what I like to do is just put a chest in between and limit it to 50 pieces. That way there's a little bit of reserve in here. And let's see, do these need gears? No, they do not, but these need circuits. So let's make sure and get the iron from the other line. Okay. And I notice on these end ones, I'm putting it close to the inlet of the belt so that it does get some kind of materials. All right, so we can power this up and it will start making stuff. Now we need a place to store it. Now, when you start out the game, you will only have just basic chests. And I like to use iron chests because I don't really need that much storage. And what you'll do is get an inserter to place in the chest. Actually, I don't want it right there. I'll put it, I like to put it on one side so that I can have power poles in the middle so that it spreads the power more evenly, kind of like this. Anyway, okay, let's just do that. I'll put the power out so we have power. Power is good. So, however, when you get the technology for passive providers, you can just plonk a passive provider over these things like that. What I like to do is we need to put, of course, an inserter to put there and one to go into the next array. Now, why is this not working? Oh, it's not getting gears. Ha, silly me. Okay, I forgot to feed it gears. Okay, so the gears need to be fed from the sides here. And you can move this power pole if you want. It should... Oh, that one doesn't need gears. Never mind. And this one does not need gears either. It's only the belts that need gears. So these are going to start filling up. And you can limit this way. But I don't like to do that because it's not expandable into endgame the way I want it to be. What I'm going to do is actually put a circuit condition on this thing. So let me just do that. Put inserters on all these guys. And put a circuit condition. And there's a reason I'm not connecting this to the entire logistics network, because we do actually physically need them in this box. So I want to tell this guy to put these underground belts in as long as you have less than 50. So I want 50 in this chest. And I'm going to do the same condition for all of these guys, except change the amount here. Or change the product, I should say. Belts, I usually have less than, say, I don't know, 350 or something like that. Okay. And of course, let's get this line along. If you don't have red, that's okay. Make sure you just put the green on half a belt. This is how I've done this here. I've split it off and put a belt across so it only goes on half the belt. That goes under and connects here, and then the red is allowed to just feed onto this side. We need red for the higher level belts, basically. Okay, let me bring that across. And let's see. And we'll get these getting fed in. Great. So this circuit is set up. Great. And these are ready to get produced. Let me just move these belts slightly. All right. So now let's get gears into these other assemblers. These guys tend to require tons of gears, 20 gears. So put the fastest inserters you have or even stack inserters are good for those. These need a fair few as well. They need 10, and these guys need 10 as well. Okay. And of course, they can be made in half a second and even faster with these level 3 machines. All right, so again, we're going to do a very, very similar thing. We could even copy these chests over. But if you don't have robots, which probably will be the case in the beginning of the game, this tutorial, of course, is made after I have reached that point. But, you know, it depends where you are in your factory. So, all right, so the next thing we'll do is just set these up very similarly. Let's get circuit things. Okay, and just set them up. And then these guys can output into another chest as well. There we go. And I'm just going to copy over these conditions to these guys here and just change the recipes, of course. 50, and that one is going to be red belts. We'll just say less than 50. I'm not a great fan of red belts. I tend to just skip straight on to blue if I possibly can. Alright, and let's go with these. Great. And we'll also connect the other ones. Now, what is the point of all of this? Okay, let me just set these guys up. These are going to be blue undergrounds. These are going to be blue belts. Less than, I don't know, 650 or something like that, because we'll have to replace the whole main bus at some point. All right, and these are going to be blue splitters. Okay, great. And of course, for the blue level items, we do need to put in lubricant. So I will add that right now. And we need, of course, the gears. Great. And we'll extend this just a little bit more because some of these guys need tons of gears. Like anything else, you will want to upgrade your lines to blues eventually, so we get more throughput of the gears, get more ability to make these belts here. So the reason I have these wired as such is so that they have a minimum amount in these boxes. At endgame, you can change this to be, say, instead of 350, 50, because you're no longer using yellow belt. And what you can do is, instead of having a passive provider chest, you can have a requester chest. And this requester chest is going to take any transport belts from your whole system, and will go to, like, you know, request like 2,000 of them. And basically, the robots will deliver it so that it can be recycled into red belts. That's the whole beauty of this system, is that you can recycle pretty much everything. So I'm going to recycle all the yellows, all the reds, and so that I can make blues. And basically, you just set up each chest to request them from the system, and the robots will deliver them. So it's a pretty handy way. You know, if you're upgrading your lines or whatever, you can just throw them in your logistics trash slots, and they'll go into your system, and basically they will end up being recycled. So it's a really handy way to do things without having to manually chuck stuff in and such like that. So and because these guys are limited, they will not draw more from the assemblers if there is a lot in here. So this one wants 50 in the chest. Basically, that's just a leeway to have enough to make the blue level items. But it will also request and have, you know, basically fill up the chest with more and recycle from your system. So anyway, this is my favorite belt array setup. I hope you enjoyed this video, and have fun in your game. Take care.